Once you reach your 60s, life begins to change in ways that can surprise you. Some people step into this new chapter with confidence. They feel more alive than ever, happier, healthier, and finally free to live life on their own terms. But for others, this stage brings confusion, loneliness, and a nagging sense of emptiness. They wake up each day unsure of what to do, disconnected from the rhythm of life they once knew. Why is it so different from one person to the next? Is it just luck? Not at all. The real difference lies in how you prepare, how you care for your body, protect your mind, and nurture your spirit. In this video, we're going to explore 5 powerful things you absolutely need after 60. Not for luxury, not for show, but to feel truly alive and connected in your everyday life. These aren't grand goals or unreachable dreams. They're essential elements of a well-lived life, things that too many people ignore until it's far too late. And when they're missing, life becomes frustrating, isolating, and even unhealthy. But when they're present, life feels full of meaning, energy, and peace. Stick with me to the very end, because the 5th and final point is something people often overlook. Yet, when it's missing, it can slowly erode your sense of self without you even realizing it. Let's begin. 1. A deep sense of purpose. In your 60s, the rhythm of life slows down, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. After decades of raising kids, building careers, and managing responsibilities, it's natural for the pace to shift. But what catches many people off guard is the silence that follows. The structure you once relied on, the schedules, the tasks, the deadlines, suddenly disappears. And with it sometimes goes your sense of meaning. That's why having a clear and deeply personal sense of purpose becomes absolutely essential. Without purpose, your days can start to blur together. You might feel like you're just drifting, going through the motions without really living. And research backs this up. Studies show that people with a strong sense of purpose not only live longer, but also experience fewer health issues, lower levels of depression, and more emotional resilience. Let's look at a real-life example. Richard, a man who retired at 65 after a long career in finance, thought he was ready for relaxation. He slept in. He took long walks. He read books. But after a few months, he felt off. The days felt empty. The joy he expected to feel yet never really arrived. Then, he decided to volunteer at a local mentorship program, guiding young professionals just starting out. And everything changed. He had a reason to get up in the morning. He felt energized again. His conversations became richer. He felt useful, needed, alive. That's the power of purpose. And no, your purpose doesn't need to come from a job. It could be writing that book you always dreamed about, helping raise your grandchildren, learning to paint, starting a community garden, even sharing your life experience online to help others. What matters is that you wake up knowing your presence matters, that you're part of something bigger than just your routine. With purpose, every day becomes a chance to grow, to contribute, and to find joy in the little things. And the beautiful truth is, it's never too late to discover a new purpose. Never. 2. Meaningful human connections. Another thing that often gets overlooked after 60 is connection. Deep, authentic human connection. For many, retirement or lifestyle changes mean fewer daily interactions. Friends move away. Families get busy with their own lives. And before long, people find themselves spending more and more time alone. Now, don't get me wrong, solitude can be peaceful. Sometimes it's exactly what we need, but prolonged isolation? It's something else entirely. That kind of loneliness can be dangerous. You might be surprised to hear that chronic loneliness has been linked to serious health issues, like high blood pressure, weakened immunity, heart disease, and even cognitive decline. Some researchers say its impact is as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. And the saddest part? Most people don't even notice it happening. They say they're fine, that they enjoy the quiet, that they've just gotten used to it. But gradually, the silence starts to weigh on them. They laugh less, engage less, and their world starts shrinking. Take Margaret, for example, a 72-year-old widow who, after losing her husband, found comfort in the quiet at first. But as the months passed, she started feeling restless. Conversations became rare. Her motivation dropped. Even the hobbies she once loved stopped bringing joy. Then, one day, she joined a walking group at the local park. At first, it was awkward, just small talk with strangers. But slowly, things shifted. She made friends, laughed again, shared stories, and, most importantly, she remembered what it felt like to be truly seen. That's the power of connection. And no, you don't need a big social circle or constant events on your calendar. Just a few meaningful, consistent relationships can completely transform your life. Regular phone calls with family, a neighbor you check in with, a book club, a church group, or a weekly lunch with an old friend. The key is not withdrawing. Keep reaching out, even when it feels hard, even when you'd rather stay home. That one message you send, that one outing you attend, could shift everything. Life, at its core, is meant to be shared. And after 60, connection isn't just nice, it's necessary. 3. Physical strength and mobility, the foundation of freedom. As we continue, let's talk about something that many people don't realize until it starts slipping away: physical strength and mobility. After 60, your ability to move freely becomes one of the most powerful predictors of how much freedom you'll enjoy in the years ahead. Some assume that becoming weaker, slower, or more tired is simply part of aging. But that's only half the truth. The real issue is not taking care of your body in ways that keep it strong and capable. The decline doesn't happen overnight. At first, it's little things. Feeling sore after walking upstairs, needing to sit more often, struggling to lift something you used to carry with ease. Then, gradually, those small issues grow. Standing from a chair feels difficult. Walking around the block feels exhausting. And eventually, daily tasks begin to feel like mountains instead of molehills. Once mobility begins to fade, it becomes much harder to regain. But the good news, you can maintain and even improve strength and flexibility at any age. Let's take Paul as an example. At 68, he stopped exercising after retiring. For a while, he didn't notice much change. But slowly, his legs felt stiff in the mornings. He avoided long walks because of aching knees. Then one day, he stumbled on his front steps. Not because they were steep, but because his legs didn't react fast enough. That moment scared him. It wasn't just aging, it was the loss of independence. But Paul didn't give up. He began walking daily, just 15 minutes at first. He added light strength exercises. Over time, his energy returned. His confidence grew, and most importantly, he began trusting his body again. You don't need a gym membership or fancy equipment. Start small, walk, stretch, do a few leg raises while watching TV. Try simple balance exercises or light hand weights. The goal isn't to become a fitness expert. It's to keep your body working for you, not against you. Because the truth is, when your body is strong, your world stays wide open. And that's freedom. 4. Financial stability and peace of mind. When we think of stress after 60, most people assume health is the biggest concern. But in reality, money often causes more anxiety than anything else. You might have worked your whole life, saved what you could, and planned for retirement. But life is unpredictable. Medical bills, home repairs, unexpected emergencies, they don't disappear when the paychecks stop coming. In fact, sometimes those expenses grow. And here's the thing, financial worry doesn't just affect your bank account. It affects your sleep, your mood, your relationships, and even your physical health. Research has shown that chronic financial stress can lead to heart problems, anxiety, and faster cognitive decline. Let's talk about Barbara. She retired at 70, feeling secure in her savings. For a while, everything was fine. She paid her bills, lived comfortably, and didn't think much about money, but then her roof needed replacing. Shortly after, she faced a large medical bill. Suddenly, her savings began shrinking, fast. She started feeling anxious every time a bill arrived. She worried about every dollar she spent. And it wasn't just financial pressure. It was emotional and mental weight that affected her entire life. But here's the good news. You can take control, even now. Start by understanding your current financial situation. Sit down, look at your savings, expenses, and potential future costs. Awareness is powerful. It gives you clarity and helps you make smarter decisions before a crisis hits. Next, look for ways to reduce unnecessary spending. Are you paying for subscriptions you don't use? Overpaying for insurance? Small adjustments can create a safety cushion for future needs. And if you're concerned about outliving your savings, don't be afraid to get creative. Many retirees find joy in part-time work, consulting, or turning hobbies into small income streams. That extra bit of income can bring both security and purpose. Lastly, don't overlook health-related expenses. Medical and long-term care costs can be massive later in life. Make sure you have the right coverage or a strategy in place so that one emergency doesn't erase years of saving. Because financial peace isn't about being rich, it's about being secure. It's knowing that whatever happens, you're prepared. And when you feel financially safe, life gets lighter in every other way. 5. Personal growth and lifelong curiosity. The final piece of the puzzle is perhaps the most overlooked, but also one of the most life-changing: personal growth. After 60, many people slip into the mindset that their best years are behind them. They stop reaching, stop learning, stop challenging themselves. And while routines can feel safe, they can also become prisons if we're not careful. When you stop growing, life starts to feel smaller, repetitive, dull. You lose that spark, that sense of adventure that once pushed you to discover new things. But here's the truth: your brain doesn't stop needing stimulation just because you hit a certain age. In fact, staying mentally active is one of the most powerful ways to prevent cognitive decline. Learning new things, reading, solving puzzles, or even trying new experiences can boost your brain health, mood, and energy. Take Thomas, a retired engineer. He spent decades solving complex problems. But after retiring, he had nothing to challenge him. He became bored, restless. Then, on a whim, he signed up for a basic woodworking class. What started as a way to pass the time turned into a passion. He began building furniture for his grandchildren, creating gifts for friends, selling at local markets. But more than that, he felt alive again. Growth doesn't mean going back to school. It could be learning a language, playing an instrument, doing crosswords, or just diving into books on topics you've always been curious about. The point isn't mastery, it's engagement. When you stay curious, you stay young at heart. People who keep learning tend to be more positive, more adaptable, and even more socially active. It gives you fresh topics to talk about, goals to aim for, and reasons to look forward. So, ask yourself, when was the last time you learned something new, just because you wanted to? If it's been a while, maybe it's time to light that spark again. Because the moment you stop exploring, you start shrinking. But when you stay curious, life keeps opening up, no matter how many candles are on your birthday cake. Final thoughts? Your next chapter starts here. Let's recap. To live a full, joyful, and meaningful life after 60, you need these 5 essentials. A clear sense of purpose, real, meaningful social connections, physical strength and mobility, financial peace of mind, a deep commitment to personal growth. Without these, life can begin to feel small, stressful, and uncertain. But when you have them, each day brings clarity, confidence, and quiet joy. Now, take a moment. Be honest with yourself. Which of these 5 do you already have? And which ones might need your attention? If something's missing, don't wait. Start small. Start now. Because every small change leads to something greater. And the truth is, life doesn't end at 60. In many ways, it's just beginning. Thank you for spending this time with me. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What stood out to you most? What's one thing you plan to focus on? If this video helped you, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone you care about. Your support helps us continue to create content that inspires and empowers people just like you. Until next time, stay curious, stay strong, and never stop growing.